guys. This is a this will be a hodgepodge of me putting together a bunch of videos to show. I had a previous video of this. This is the world's first Predator Valve Lash adjuster, and I promised that I would show you guys a video of how I built this thing, and so you guys can make one yourselves. There's 10mm and a 14mm, as I got marked right there, you can see. And in this little bit, I'll go over the basics. Let me get some things together. The basic components are right here, and this is a round pipe that's 3/4 inch on the outside diameter. Inside my finger, 0.61 is the inside diameter, and 0.06 thickness. That'll be in inches for the round pipe, and you really won't use much of it. The flat stock right here is 1 inch wide by 0.12 inch thick, and you won't use much of that. You'll need a 1/4 inch round rod, and that'll go quite a ways too. A 10mm, you can use long or you can use short, and I'll show you later on in the video why you may want to use the long one. You'll need a 14mm wrench. It doesn't matter. I bought a bunch of cheapies because you'll be cutting that head off, like you see right there. See how that is done? Also, you'll need the big washer is 1 3/4 or 1.75 outside diameter, and its inside diameter needs to be 1 inch. That's an 1/8 inch thick. You're going to need nuts. 1 9/16 with shoulder. And what I mean by shoulder is it's got a washer end to it. 1 9/16 nut. I just happened to grab that one. That's long, and that's the kind you need. It's better than a thin style. You need the thick one. You'll need 3 1/2 inch with shoulders. See, it's 1/2 inch, and it's got the shoulders on it. You'll need 3 of them. And on the washers, an extra washer, this is 3/4 inch outside diameter, and 1/4 inch on the inside diameter right there. Don't know the thickness, but at least one. You might use a couple of them. But that's the bare basics right there of the stuff to make that the Predator motor Valve Lash adjuster. And let me end this part, and we'll go to the next part to show you more. If you need to, stop the video right here so you can get a clear picture to write all this stuff down. Okay? Okay, in this little section, let me grab it real quick over here. These washers, the inside diameter wasn't quite 1 inch like I need to fit that in. So I took this drill bit and I was looking at that's got sizes up through here, and the 1 inch is way up here, and I'm like, that can't be right. So I sized it up to where I needed it, and then I took a marker, and you can see that right there. I marked the one that I needed, and I'm trying not to touch it because it's hot, and I drilled them out to 1 inch diameter so that pipe will fit right through that. So inside diameter 1 inch. This pipe is 1 inch. That outside really doesn't matter. It could be 2 inch, 3 inch. I wouldn't go much bigger than, I think 2 inch is good. But that is an important step right there. And okay, yeah. This is a 14 millimeter. This is probably one of the most important parts. And I buy these cheap ones, and I would cut on the bandsaw to cut that ring end off. It kind of looks like a ring that fits on your finger. But I would use a vice grip and clamp them like that, and I'd go over to the angle grinder, the grinder, sorry, and smooth that all down right there to get that down like that, to get all the burrs and everything off and to smooth it down. So what I'm going to do is build 3 of these suckers in front of y'all. But these are the components I'm working on. I'm showing y'all how I'm doing them. Another thing is on these... Okay. You can see on these sockets. Now I have short ones and I have long ones. And I just found whatever I could. I try to always go with the 6-point socket. Now you can see on this end that I kind of ground them down, and the reason I did that is to get any chrome plating, if it was on there, off. This little... Aye, that thing is still hot. This little piece right here is 1/4 inch bar stock, round. And you can see that I have rounded the tip. I'm trying to get it to focus. And you can see that I tried to clean some of the rust off, but some of the rust has come back on. And I'll have to clean that some more. And I want a better tip. I want it tighter because it's going to fit down. You see how it fits in that hole? Okay, and you see that is straight, and that's true, and that's a big part of that. That's another big part of the equation right there, is this all has to line up straight. And I'm trying to hold it and hold the camera at the same time. But you see how that's fitting in there nice and straight and perfect? And it goes through on this one. So I'd have to watch to where it comes through, like right about there. Can you see that inside there? To where it comes to right about there. And it stays straight and true as I turn it. That's big. That's a big thing that you have to do. This all has to remain straight and true to turn straight and all. And the reason that I ground these flat and I took the chrome off the back side is when this gets fitted in, and I'm sure that it's straight, I'm going to get it to hold up, stand up. Well, my bench isn't straight either. Isn't level, I mean, cattywampus. I'm going to put a weld around this, and then I'm going to grind it, grind it to where it's not past the diameter of this. So I'm attaching this to this. That one goes through also. But it seems like on the long one, well, I guess there's a tighter thing down there. But anyhow, that this rod is going to get it, like I said, welded onto that. And these, you know, we come up with these little ring pieces. Now, part of the reason why I use this 1 inch is that it don't go inside the 14 millimeter. It's so fun trying to work with one hand. Let me put it like this. Ah! Work with me, people. Okay, you see how that fits on top like that. Now what I'm going to do, where'd my pen go? Where'd my pen go? Is I'm going to weld all around to where this is the only part sticking out. And I'm going to weld around and put this on the very bottom of that 1 inch pipe. And then the biggest part that makes this work is right here. See how the 10 millimeter just fits right inside? Now you see how that works. Going back to here. See, there's a socket on the inside and a 14 millimeter on the outside. That's how I got that to work. This turns the 10 millimeter on the inside. This turns the 14 millimeter. So, I don't know if you can buy these washers already with a 1 inch diameter. I'm sure there's some out there, but anyhow, I just used my little thing because I had a bunch of these around and put them over there at the drill press and done that. Anyhow, let me do some more fabricating. It's fun working with one hand. And I'll fabricate some more and then get back with you guys. Okay, I was making some more parts. This is the top piece. It'll be similar to this one. It's got a hole in it for this bar to go through. Now, it says round bar 1/4 inch by 36 inches, but it won't fit on my 1/4 inch gauge here. It was 17/64, and so that's what I had to drill the hole out with to be able to get this to fit through that. Now this will be the top. This is the top piece that controls the 10 millimeter, the inside lock. And these are going to be the handles. Now I ran out of material and I grabbed this. Now I've cleaned all the edges up. This one I just lightly touched on this because this inside part, let me show you, is going to weld to that washer that you see right here. That's that lower piece. And the washer welds all the way around the body, so that gives it great strength. So that is going to go on like that. Now, like I said, I ran out of material, and my junk pile, if you don't have a pile of leftover metal, that's not good. So I'll put that on there. That'll be a nice round handle. Kind of wondering about the weight. I don't know, that's kind of heavy. I may, today's Sunday and ain't no stores open, so I may wait a day and get some more stock. But I wanted you guys to let you go that this 1/4 inch is more of a 17/64. And I keep a coffee can full of every size that you could think of, and so what I do is I might match them up to this, and then I drill the hole I need, and this fits in that hole, 17/64, and it does fit on this one, but when I drilled the 1/4 inch hole, I couldn't get this to go into them holes. So anyhow, I cut these and I buffed all the edges, and I ground all the edges smooth and buffed all the rust off the body, and I used this with that cone piece to get on the inside and clean them boogers up like that. There's going to be stuff inside these tubes, like on this one. So, okay, more parts I fabricated. Each one of these has 2 handles, so that's why I'm working up 6 handles. Okay, that'll do me good on this video. So let's go on to the next. Okay. This will be a video fix right here. I found, because I'm making 3 of them, these are 3 9/16 with, I call, a built-in washer or shoulder. These are 3 9/16 that are fairly long bolts. And here is 1, 2, 3 1/2 inch, and it's got the what I call a shoulder, or that's a locking design, but the main reason why that is on there is because it allows, see that, to go through it. And these 9/16 are the one that's going to fit right here at the top of this tube. It gets pressed in. This is a 9/16 that's pushed down to right about there in the tube, and it acts as a stabilizer. And the 1/2 inch ones will be used up here, so I'm going to have to dig up some more of them. It looks like I got 2 right there, and then that'll be a 1/2 inch right there also. But I made a mistake earlier. This is 3/4 of an inch, and the drill bit I measured about the right size. You can see the black mark that I got on there, and I put these in a vise, and I run that drill into them to get the right proper size. These are a little bit imperfect, but anyhow, it fits good in there. But I made a mistake saying that these were 1 inch. These are 3/4 inch. So yeah, I'm going to need another set of these and one set of these. This is just a 1/2 inch, and it's used as a spacer right there. There's a washer underneath it. No, there's no washer underneath it. There's a washer right there. That's the only washer I'll need. These two are basically turned like this, and then they're welded in place. So the shoulder kind of supports that as it gets welded on. So hope I clarified things. I kind of messed up right there. Anyhow, on to more work. Catch you on the next video. Okay, you can see I've done some welding. This will be a handle. The majority of it was welded on the bottom side. The same with this one. I don't know where the third one went off to, but the third one is like this one. The majority of the welding is underneath, and that's on top. And you can see that the ratchet end is welded to the end of these tubes or pipe. And I ground them down because I did spot welding, you know, each little spot, and wanted it to look a little better. I used, now it's a booger to hold these in place. What I had done, oh, quit falling off the table. It means my table's not level. Okay, back to the subject. I put this piece of hose in this, and that's a 14 millimeter, and I slid it down inside the pipe, and that would hold this fairly straight. This one's got a little bit of an offset, but it still seems to work. Whereas this one is just about perfect, and that one is just about perfect. But that little thing would help hold them in place. And I had magnets, you know, welding magnets to hold this upright while I spot welded all around it. This 1/4 piece, I'm going to weld just that little bit. Well, you can see I have rounded that tip off to make it a little bit sharper. It fits down inside there and lines that up. See how it lines that up? And it stays really straight. And that's important on that. But I'm going to, where my finger is, I'm going to put some welds around there. It can't get past that, or I'll grind it down. But that's what this, you know, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm going to take these over there and weld come on, these like that. It'll be about that placement, but it'll be straighter. Anyhow, let me do some more fabricating, and I'll get back with you on another video on this. Okay, I took the handles and welded to the tubes. The ratchet end is down there. I welded on the top side. This will go down like that on all three of them. This is the one, remember I ran out of handle material, so I was using what I had. But what was I saying? Okay. Now I took the 1/4 inch rod and welded to the sockets. Now you see that one's a long one, and here's the short ones. I'm going to try not to touch the short ones because they're blazing hot. And this one, the rod stayed straight in there. It had a neat setup inside there that kept it straight. But I welded that, and then I ground this on the bench grinder. I put a bevel right here. So that way, this slides in and it has the ability to turn very smoothly. Now, this is the 10 millimeter. This will be the inside, the jam nut. And that's the outside 14 millimeter adjusting, valve lash adjusting. And this will be the lash jam nut. And you can see how they work together right there. And it'll come up to right about there. Get that in the light. Now, to make this stable, this one's going to have a lot of stability because there's a long body on it. But that's where these come in. On the short ones, I'm going to ram this down inside the body, this nut, and put it about halfway right there. And then at the top, the nut with the flange, or the washer on it, will get pushed into that. Just do it with a hammer, and they'll stay right in. I'm trying to show that. And that will be another support for the rod. See what I'm trying to do is that these will, this goes right through here. That thing is still blazing hot. And you see that's going to help support it. And then this will be the top. And you see how it's supported. Supported right there and right there. And this will waller around in the bottom pretty close. But you see how I got to ram these into the tubes and that onto the top. But this one, I'm just going to put a top on it because all this tube will help support it. And so this will go in just like this. Into that. So, and that's what it looks like at the end. So let me get on to doing some more stuff. Okay. I put the nuts with the shoulders on them, or washers on them. This is 1/2 inch, this is 9/16 into the tube. And that acts like a support for this rod, the 1/4 rod. Now, you can see inside there, you can see I'm rotating the socket. There's a couple of, sometimes I was able to put one. This one had the long, long socket. So all it has is one nut up here. This one had the short socket. So I'll put a couple of nuts inside there to help support this rod. And you can see there's the socket. And it's got a shoulder bolt at the top. You just pop it down with a hammer and it stays in place. And this one, same way. I put a couple of nuts in there. You see that socket moving around in there? The one inside there is what unlocks it. Unlocks your valve lash adjuster. And then this one goes to the 14 millimeter and adjust the valves. Just like the original. So it's late today, and I'm going to go inside, get a shower, and work on this tomorrow. But it's coming along. Basically what's left now is let's see if I can get it. I've got to work one-handed. That's kind of tough. Now you get the gist of it. This will be the lever that activates the 10mm. And so what I'm going to do is put some nuts to kind of bring it up, and then I'm going to weld that to this shaft. And then I'm going to clip that shaft off up there and weld all around to make sure this has a good hold of this shaft. And also I'm going to get that socket in just the right place. So that's why I got all them bolt nuts that I'm going to put there. I'll put a nut, a washer, and then 2 nuts to kind of clamp this, and then I'll make sure it's in the right place down here, and then weld it. Weld all that in, knock that off, and do basically what I did right here. You see I have the nut going in right there, like that one right there. I've got this one where it's a spacer, and then this one is faced to the lever, and that one is faced to the lever, and both of them are welded on. And you can see I welded over it so it doesn't have no sharp edges or anything like that. So that's the stuff that I'll do next, and we'll call it a day. Tired. So have a good one. We'll catch you on that next video. Okay, on this video, these little cap nuts, I put little spot welds to make sure they stay in place. Now the top, I ground down because something similar to this, but I'm going to try to get a smooth one, is going to be upside down and on it like that. And I don't want it to jam up, but I don't want that little top piece to come out either. Also, I got these welded up, and I put it in the drill press, turned it up to a high speed, and I ground some of this down and tried to get, the stuff off the side where my finger is, and also used some emery cloth to polish that. So that way inside here, get that in there. That way it turns, see, it turns easily. I want that to turn easily in there. And so that was another bit of the process. I'll get some more done to it. Okay, on this one, I was adjusting the bolt, or I'm sorry, nut that I got inside the body as a support. What I'm doing is getting that socket inside there to fit kind of barely up inside the wrench end. The reason is that'll grab better, and making sure that these things turn easily, kind of locking it in place. Each one I worked on, you can see that one is just about perfect. I want that socket set inside that wrench area, and that's the way you want to set this up, and also for that to turn smoothly. That one, yeah, you can see how that's in there really good. And I was using, I think I threw an extra nut in this one to get it right, and move them around with the hammer and that. I come up with an idea of the leftover wrenches. Just weld two of them together, and that can still be used. And it's got some length to it. So anyhow, it's kind of similar. That one's a little bit deeper, but this one works real good. Anyhow, let me get on to other stages and show you more. Okay, this is the next phase. So I'll get a better look. Let me get a pointing device so I look official. I have a washer right there, and I have one of these nuts with the shoulders on it turned upside down, and I turn this one to where the flat is against the handle and the top is against the handle. That's where I'll weld along that to get the strength into that handle. And this was done to kind of give it a bearing so this can move, this handle can move and won't jam up. This will get welded to the handle, and this will get welded to the handle. Then I'll trim that top piece down and weld around it to make it stronger. But that is a good look of the setup I have on top. Okay, let me do some welding now, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm welding these. I'm using a sawhorse, and this is a metal plate. I buffed it down yesterday. Got my ground attached to it, got it attached to the sawhorse. And this is the top it'd be the top lever that moves the 10mm on the inside, and this is the one that moves the 14. Now what I'm going to do is probably straighten it up a little bit, but I'm going to tack that nut and then that nut, and then put this on this plate, and I have to weld around the top of that nut, because that is what holds the shaft to that arm. And I'm using a Hobart 140. It's a 110. That's all I got in my shop is 110. Let me go back over here. You can see the shaft comes through it. I've got it sitting right here to cool off. I haven't cleaned it, but I'm going to cut that down and grind that down some. You can see here's the other one. See how that works? I'm not touching it because it's blazing hot. So let me go weld that other one and work on these a little bit, and I'll get back with you. Okay. Quick look at the top. See the washer, nut, and the nut's turned over, and that's turned over right there. But it's the top weld that holds that rod inside there together. And you can see the outside 14mm is moving, the inside 10mm isn't moving. And that's how this works. And I clipped that top piece off with a you can see the part of the top pieces right there. clipped them off and I ground it down, and I went over this with the wire brush, and I'm going to do these, similar to this, and paint it, so I don't want it all rusting up. And then I'm going to mark it, and I had some funny tape around, so I just did that. But this is to give you an idea of how to build this thing. This valve lash adjuster for the Predator 212 motor. So I'm gonna let these I may paint them today, I don't know, I got time. Anyhow, this will be another video. I'll edit it in with the other ones. Okay, I found some leftover paint, Ace Rust Stop, left over my cabinet, and I put some screws down on my wooden bench here and just plopped these. Actually, I held them in my hand. I had a glove on, that's why I don't have no paint there. But anyhow, I painted them brighter than mine, so I may have to come back and hit it again, but that's what they look like right now. So off to the next video. Okay, I came out here and worked on these, and I'm just going to call it finished for now. I may do some touch up, but I took some electrical tape and I taped up the handles to make them a little better. But the sandpaper down there was to scrape some of the paint that got on the socket part and the wrench part, or the branch part. I may do a little bit more painting. I painted them bright so they could be seen easily. And that one got a nick on it, so I'm going to do a little repainting. It had a big drip. I'm going to paint that underside there, but yeah. Now watch this video and you can learn how to make these. Ah, come on, get around there. Yeah, I need to knock some of that paint off that. And get a little bit more paint right there. But that is where we're at. Now remember, I've welded, when this came through, I welded the nut to this bar, and then I welded that 1/4 inch rod that went through. I welded the nut around it, and that's what holds that all in place. Honestly, if I had the ability, I would make a plastic Delrin insert and drill a 1/4 hole, and that way what I want to do is, the main thing is to get that socket pushed down to where it's just inside the lip of this wrench part. That's how it fits up in there. You can see that, and that's what makes it operate real smoothly. And I don't care about getting these straight and all that other crud, but you can see it works. And I did spot weld that top nut onto that, but this one is loose and there's a washer right there. But anyhow, I hope you enjoy this video and get a lot out of it, and are able to make a tool that will work for you. This was my original tool, and I made it in an afternoon. My socket's a little bit deeper in there, but I've used it on my Predator motors, and yeah, I need to mark them. I'm going to put that 10mm and 14 on these. So I got to get my marker out. So this is my original, and it's worked good for me. So I don't see why this ain't going to work good for you. So I hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe. I need all the help I can get. And I appreciate you guys, and y'all have a good one. See you later. See you on the next video.